As Michael said, we are going to do My Favorite Husband. This is the Valentine's Show, first aired on February 11th, 1949. It was written by people you have probably heard of before: Jess Oppenheimer, Madeline Pugh, and Bob Carroll Jr. For those of you who don't watch TV, that's I Love Lucy. And this, as was previously explained, is the radio show that preceded I Love Lucy. Lucy was hell-bent on keeping Desi somewhat chained up because he had a tendency to rove, and therefore the TV show was going to star her husband come hell or high water, according to Lucy. There are some dated jokes in here. Some of them work, some of them don't. I'm sorry, they just don't. At least not to my ears. Yes, your job is to laugh at the audience, whether you like it or not. Bob Carroll Jr. says you have to. Some of them I will try to explain later, or at least what they are, some of the references. And if not, if everybody gets them and just me, then what the heck. All right, we ready? Yes, clear.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Michael Haid, Jack French, Kathleen O'Reilly, Dennis Roma, Hank Ickes, and Mary Cole Henshaw.
Jello, everybody. J-E-L-L. Oh, the
big red letters stand for the Jello family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jello family. That's Jello.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jello puddings. Yum, yum, yum. Jello tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree.
And now, My Favorite Husband, the story of Liz and George Cooper, two people who live together and like it. And now let's look in at the Coopers. It's 3 days before Valentine's Day. Well, she's been hinting about it all morning, but George doesn't seem to notice. And now at breakfast, Liz is making one last try by arranging her toast crusts in the form of a heart.
George. Hey, George. George, look at my plate.
Huh? Oh, yeah. You should eat those crusts, Liz. They're good for your teeth.
That's my romantic husband. George, didn't you notice the shape that they're in?
Huh? Oh, yeah, a triangle.
No.
Pumpkin?
No. George, when two people are in love and are going to get married, what does it affect the most?
Oh, don't tell me that's a pocketbook.
No, it's a heart. Doesn't that remind you of anything?
Oh, yes. I've got to take my liver pills.
Oh, why don't you go read your paper? I was trying to remind you that Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh, that's it? Well, you didn't have to remind me.
I didn't?
No, every ad in the paper is full of it. What a racket.
It's not a racket. It's a wonderful romantic holiday, and I like it.
Do you know how it started?
Well, St. Valentine was he was... No, I don't. Do you?
It so happens I do. It seems that years ago, there were two kindly old gentlemen who thought love was so wonderful that they set aside a day to honor all sweethearts and lovers, and they called it St. Valentine's Day.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Who were they?
A candy maker and a florist.
Oh, George, I suppose you think that department store owners invented mothers so they could have Mother's Day.
You know, you may be right.
Well, St. Valentine's Day doesn't mean just candy and flowers. It's the spirit of loving that counts. If you really love someone, they'll know it without any presents.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Liz, I love you.
You mean no presents?
No, I love you too much.
But George, what's Valentine's Day without candy and flowers?
I thought so.
George, you know the real reason I like Valentine's Day? Because it's such a good excuse to be all mushy and gushy over you.
Yeah? What's your excuse for the other 364 days? You're mushy all the time.
Yes, but on Valentine's Day, I can be mushy and loud. I love you, George.
Liz, keep quiet.
I love you, George.
Liz, stop. What about Katie?
Katie loves you too, George.
What about the lady next door?
The lady... What about the lady next door?
She might hear you. Now simmer down.
All right, I'll be quiet. I love you, George.
That's better.
Do you love me, George?
Yes, I do.
I'm glad to hear that, George.
Anybody want more coffee?
No thanks, Katie.
No thanks.
What are we whispering for?
Oh, it was just a joke, Katie. We were kidding about Valentine's Day.
Kidding? Oh, you should never joke about Valentine's Day. Oh, it's a beautiful occasion.
Why, Katie, I think you've got a boyfriend.
Well, I have been working on a Valentine poem, and I'm going to give it to...
To whom?
I'm going to give it to... Oh,
Is that his first or his last name?
oh, Mrs. Cooper. It's for Mr. Dabney, the butcher.
Oh, old heavy thumb.
Is the butcher your boyfriend, Katie?
Well, sort of.
That explains why we've been able to cut the steaks lately.
Well, he isn't exactly my boyfriend, but I've always sort of kind of liked him.
Well, you could do worse than Mr. Dabney. He's quite attractive and a very good butcher.
Well, some people may have better beef, but his liver is good. And no one has oxtail and pig's feet like his.
Say, what's it cost to see him?
Never mind, George.
I do have a problem, though, Mrs. Cooper. I haven't got the nerve to give Mr. Dabney the Valentine I wrote to him. Would you go shopping with me today and give it to him for me?
Why, sure, Katie. Anything to help out romance.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Cooper. I'll go finish it.
Liz, are you going to start playing Cupid again? Now you know what
Now,
happened.
George, what harm can come from handing a Valentine for Katie? It'll not only help their romance along, but he'll give us better meat. This isn't just an affair of the heart. There are a couple of stomachs mixed up in it, too.
Oh, there he is, Mrs. Cooper.
Well, give me the Valentine and I'll hand it to him.
Here.
What have you got on this, Katie?
Well, I wanted it scented with an odor, something he'd like.
But it's all soggy. What did you do, soak it in perfume?
No, bacon grease.
Well, that's romantic. Okay, give it to me.
I'll be watching from the grocery department.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Dabney.
Hi, Miss Cooper.
How are things in the meat market?
Hi, Miss Cooper. What can I do for you today?
Well, I didn't come to buy anything today, Mr. Dabney. I'm here on a personal matter. I happen to know that one of your customers thinks you're rather nice.
Nah.
Yes. She's been too bashful to tell you, but since this is almost Valentine's Day, she wants you to know she likes you a lot.
You know something, Miss Cooper?
What?
I like you a lot, too.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not the one.
Still bashful, eh? Ah, you little minx.
Just a second, Mr. Dabney. I happen to be speaking for someone else.
What's that you're hiding behind your back?
Oh, how did I get mixed up in this? Here, this will straighten things out. It's a Valentine.
Oh, Miss Cooper, I feel like such a heel. I don't have one for you.
Now, stop this nonsense.
Wait a minute. I'll cut you a heart-shaped piece of salami.
Oh, no. Look, just read this Valentine and you'll see what I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Liz. Oh, gee, it looks beautiful. How did you know? Me favorite aroma, Swift's Premium.
Read the Valentine.
All right. If you'll be mine, then I'll be thine. You set my heart a-quiver. Say you'll be my Valentine and send 2 pounds of liver.
Well, that's a practical thought.
Ah, Miss Cooper, this is touching. Did you write this all by your little self?
For the last time, no. Look at the signature.
Well, it's signed Your Bashful Redhead.
Oh, no. Katie! Oh, she's gone.
Now, don't try to pretend, Liz.
You stay there. You stay right behind that
Hey,
counter.
come on here, you bashful redhead.
Listen to me. Katie has red hair, too. We're both redheads. She's the one for you.
Now listen, two houses may have red roofs, but you don't pick the one with the sagging foundation.
Well, it's too bad your fish isn't as fresh as you are.
Oh, don't try to fight this thing, me little tenderloin. It's bigger than both of us.
Now stop this, Mr. Dabney. What about Katie?
She's bigger than both of us, too. Oh, Miss Cooper, I've admired you for years. Each little lamb chop you bought, I personally put the pants on. I feel as though part of me belongs to you.
So do I.
You feel as though part of me belongs to you?
Yes, your thumb. I've paid for it often enough. Goodbye, Mr. Dabney. Oh, it was simply awful, Katie. He came right out of his store and followed me down the block. We'll just have to stop trading there. I could never face Mr. Dabney again.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Cooper. I shouldn't have gotten panicky and run away.
Well, I'm sorry it ruined your romance.
Oh, I'll get over it in time. I have a date with the milkman tonight.
Well, that's good. Now that we're going to get tough meat again, it'll be nice to have fresh eggs.
I left his Valentine in an empty milk bottle.
Well, that's romantic. What did you say?
I said, I love you, dear. Don't be surprised. Leave 2 quarts of homogenized.
Well, as an editor guest, do me a favor. I made out a check for Mr. Dabney, and I wish you'd go out and mail it. The sooner I sever connections with that wolf, the better.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Here, mail this one too. This is a Valentine.
Why, Mrs. Cooper, who are you sending a Valentine to?
To George, of course. I thought it would be fun for him to get it at the bank. It's a copy of the first Valentine I ever sent him when I was only 16 years old. Well, here you are, Katie. Better hurry. They pick up the mail soon.
All right, I'll get my coat and go right away.
Better wear your gloves. That Valentine's pretty hot.
Hey, Liz.
George, what are you doing home in the middle of the afternoon?
Well,
You've been fired.
No,
You
I just...
quit.
No.
You're sick.
No, I feel fine.
The bank burned down.
No!
Isn't that just like a man? Comes home early and won't give you a word of explanation.
Well, give me a chance. Let me get in the house. You talk so much, the breeze keeps blowing me back out the door.
All right, come on in.
I'm going to Chicago for a couple of days on business. I have to pack and catch the 4 o'clock train.
Oh, good. I'll go with you.
Sorry, honey. Mr. Atterbury has a new rule. No wives along on business trips.
But he took his wife along on his last trip.
That's when he made the rule.
Oh, well, I'll go pack for you. Wait a minute, George. You'll be back by Monday, won't you?
No.
Oh, dear. I'll see you in a minute, George.
Where are you going?
Down to the mailbox. I have to see a man about a letter. Katie,
What's the matter, Mrs. Cooper?
did you mail those letters yet?
Yes.
Darn it. Has the mailman collected them?
No, I don't. There. He's just opening the mailbox now.
You go home, Katie. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, Mrs. Cooper.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
How are you, kid? I've never seen you before in my life. If you really want to know, I feel rotten. My rheumatism's acting up.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sure.
Are you picking up the mail?
No, I'm a Confederate soldier, and these are messages for General Lee.
Well, don't have to get nasty about it.
What do you got on your mind, young lady?
It's very simple. There's a letter in that box I want.
Oh, tampering with the mails, eh?
No, I wrote it myself. There's my letter, that blue one on top of the pile.
Take your hands off that letter.
But it's mine. See, it's addressed to my husband, and there's my name in the corner, Liz Cooper. See?
Prove it.
Well, look at the initials on my purse. LC.
You've got to have better proof than initials on a purse.
Oh, well, here's a snapshot.
What about it?
Well, see, it's me.
Let me see. Well, by golly, it is you. Well, that's proof of... No, wait a minute. You can't trick me like that.
Look, the flap isn't on very tight. Look inside. I'll tell you what's in it.
Well, I'll just peek in here and see.
See? It's a valentine I sent to my husband.
Valentine, eh?
Yeah, uh-huh.
It don't look like... Aha! Just as I thought. Trying to rob the United States mail. Young lady, you can go to the penitentiary for this.
What?
There's no Valentine in this envelope at all.
There isn't?
No, it's a check made out to Mr. Dabney, the butcher.
Oh, good heavens. That means Mr. Dabney's getting the valentine I sent to George. Quick, look for another letter made out to Dabney.
No, no. These letters are going on their way. Legal.
Well, looks like Liz could get into trouble even over St. Valentine's Day. But things will perk up in the Cooper household if Katie makes Jell-O Valentine hearts for dessert. They're easy and they're glittering gay. Dissolve 1 package of any red-flavored Jell-O in hot water and pour a 1/2 inch layer into a shallow pan. Chill until firm and then cut into heart shapes. Next, cut out hearts from 1 large sheet cake. Place your shimmering red Jell-O hearts on top of the cake and serve with whipped cream. The gayest Valentine dessert ever, and luscious good to eat, because all 6 Jell-O flavors are rich with locked-in goodness. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. Flavor that tastes so rich and tempting, it makes you think of the real ripe fruit. And that's why Jell-O is America's favorite gelatin dessert. Look for those big red letters on the box. Those big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. And now back to Liz and George Cooper. Liz mailed a valentine to George, but she got it in the wrong envelope, and it's going to Mr. Dabney the butcher, who already mistakenly thinks Liz is in love with him. Well, it's early next morning, and Liz is at Mr. Dabney's shop, waiting to intercept the letter when it comes. In order to make it look like strictly business, Liz has been making purchases every few minutes.
Mr. Dabney, I think I'd better have 2 more pork chops, please.
Miss Cooper, you already bought a roast, 2 pounds of bacon, 3 steaks, 4 lamb chops, 5 veal cutlets, and some liverwurst. I got an idea.
What's that?
You now have more meat than I do. Why don't you start selling it back to me?
Never mind the attempted humor, Mr. Dabney. By the way, when does your mailman get here?
Look, Miss Cooper, Red, you're not fooling everybody pretending to buy meat, making small talk about the mailman, all because you want to be near me. Come on, admit it.
Mr. Dabney, I don't like you. I don't like your looks, and I don't like your manner, and I think you're completely revolting.
That's right, make love to me.
Oh, thank goodness, here comes the mailman.
Good morning, Mr. Dabney. Here's a letter for you.
I'll take that.
Oh, it's you again. Young lady, you must curb this impulse to grab every blue envelope you see.
That letter's for me.
But it's mine. I wrote it. It's got my name on it. There's a valentine inside.
That's the same story she told me yesterday.
Miss Cooper, you sent me another valentine.
I did not.
That's
It's all a mistake.
That's the same story she told me yesterday.
I don't think she's got all her buttons. Mr. Dabney, here's your letter.
Over my dead body?
Give me that letter. Come back here. Come back here. Help! Help! She just
Help!
robbed my big mail. Help!
Get away!
Now don't fret, Mrs. Cooper, everything's gonna be all right.
But Katie, how will I ever be able to tell George I was arrested for robbing the U.S. mail and that he has to appear in court with me tomorrow?
It won't be easy.
Well, anyway, this is one time I'll have an answer when George says what's new.
Here he comes now. Good luck.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, dear.
Well, what's new?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm being sent to Alcatraz.
Alcatraz? Liz, you joined a pyramid club.
No, let me explain, George. You see, I sent the butcher a valentine by mistake, and since it was already mailed, he wouldn't give it back to me.
The butcher?
No, the mailman. I waited at the butcher shop until he got there, and when I grabbed the valentine, he called the police.
The mailman?
No, the butcher. And I tried to explain how it was all a mistake, but he wouldn't listen.
The mailman or the butcher?
The policeman. And then we all had to go to police court, and he said it was a federal offense, and I ought to be ashamed.
The mailman, the butcher, or the policeman?
The judge! Now do you understand, George?
Perfectly. The butcher sent the mailman a valentine, and the judge will send you to prison if I don't marry the policeman. What's going on here?
Keep calm, George. They'll drop the charges if you and I will appear in domestic relations court tomorrow.
Domestic relations?
I'm a victim of circumstantial evidence, George. The judge wants to make up his mind
About what?
whether I should stay with you or marry Mr. Dabney.
Oh, no!
All right. The Domestic Relations Court will come to order. Now, Mr. Cooper, if you and Mrs. Cooper will sit on this side of the table.
All right, Judge Skinner, but I tell you, my side of the
Please.
story...
And you, Mr. Dabney, over here.
Okay, Judge. Hiya, Red.
Oh, drop dead.
What does he mean, red?
Please, Mr. Cooper, we must control our feelings. Now, I have studied all the facts in this case, kindly supplied to me by Mr. Dabney.
Oh, great.
And before we start, I want you all to realize that there's no problem too big to solve. Into every life a little rain must fall. Every cloud must have a silver lining, and it is always darkest before the dawn.
Well, now that we've had the weather report, let's get on with the case.
Please, Mrs. Cooper, I want to start this hearing with an open mind, bearing no prejudice towards either party.
Uh-huh.
Now, when did you first realize you were in love with Mr. Dabney?
Wait a minute. I'm not in love with Mr. Dabney.
Ah! She finds me irresistible. She wrote me 2 valentines. She hung around all morning.
That wasn't because I was in love with you. I was waiting for the mailman.
Please, one grimy amour at a time.
Oh, look, Judge, this is all a mix-up. I know how the whole thing happened.
Please, Mr. Cooper, no tears. Don't talk if it hurts. Let me review it for you. I'll recreate the scene. You, Mrs. Cooper, the bored, indifferent housewife, tired of your drab, humdrum life, just waiting for an opportunity to break away from it all. And then, one day, your husband announces he must leave town, and you realize this is your chance, your opportunity to escape from this colorless, unimaginative man.
Now, just a minute.
Don't stop him, George. I want to see how this comes out.
Oh, this is a lot of nonsense. There's no basis for this whole business.
Are you forgetting this Valentine your wife wrote to her lover?
No, she wrote that to me.
Oh, Mr. Cooper, you're a hard loser. Mrs. Cooper, I suggest you read the Valentine.
All right. Dear sweetheart.
That's me.
That's me.
Please, the way this woman operates, it could be me. Continue, Mrs. Cooper.
Thank you. Dear sweetheart, I'm under your spell. I love you more than tongue can tell.
Aha! Tongue, 59 cents a pound.
A good point, Mr. Dabney. Continue, Miss Cooper.
Thank you. My lover, I have this to say. I care for you in the very worst way.
That ought to prove it. Lover worst.
Oh, that's just coincidence. She wrote this to her husband, not to her butcher.
I must say, she writes a Valentine with a lot of meat in it.
My love for you is not a phony. This Valentine is no baloney.
That proves it.
It certainly does.
Well, George, it's been nice knowing you. If you ever need any meat, come and see us.
Now, just a minute. You're not going to get away with this. I love Liz. I've been married to her for 10 years, and no judge or butcher or anyone else in the world is going to take her away from me without a fight.
Oh, George.
Do you understand?
I'll now hand down my decision. I award the custody of Mrs. Cooper to Mr. Cooper.
Hooray! You've got my custody.
Hey, what's the big idea, Judge?
Well, Mr. Dabney, I think Mrs. Cooper is in love with you, but we must think of Mr. Cooper. When I give a man a chance to get rid of his wife after 10 years of marriage and he doesn't take it, he's in bad shape. He needs someone to look after him. Case dismissed.
Liz, I hope this will be a lesson to you. Now see what happens when you start messing around in other people's affairs.
Yes, George.
This might have been really nasty and gotten spread all over the papers.
Oh, wouldn't that have been terrible?
Quiet, please. I must have quiet. You have been listening to your daily radio session in kindly Judge Skinner's domestic relations. With us today were...
No, George, this whole thing's been on the air.
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, written by Jess Oppenheimer, Madeline Pugh, and Bob Carroll Jr. Be sure to listen again to My Favorite Husband next week, brought to you by the Jell-O family of red letter desserts.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O
Puddings.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O
tapioca puddings, yes sirree.
My Favorite Husband starred Nicole Henshaw as Liz Cooper, Michael Payne as George Cooper, Kathleen O'Reilly as Pinky the Maid, Jack French as Mr. Dabney, Dennis Roma as the mailman, and Hank Ickes as Judge Skinner. Our Jell-O jingle singers were Mary Cole Henshaw, Hank Ickes, and Michael Hay. Today's program was produced under the direction of Jeff Whipple. John Abbott speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Pike Broadcasting Society.